rejoin our inspired investigators as Mara speaks with her mother as she and Aubrey prepare to leave Foxglove for Asteroid City to recover the scrap of the Shroud of Turin they stole from Feddy's fancy fundraiser.
I think her spine is erect. This thing that's been in her stomach this whole time is gnawing, but in a way that finally feels right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if her mom, because Mara hasn't felt like in line with the kind of, she's always associated that like bloodthirsty, like take down this person, like twist them, ruin them, end them.
Mm-hmm.
She's never associated that with a good thing. But now she's like, no. Like, mother, if I have the opportunity to kill Feddy, I would take it.
Good.
Any other words of advice? Maybe specifics if we're there? I think I have a rare opportunity. I know the bad blood between you and him goes back probably centuries.
Well, he's new to town.
Right.
And Mara would remember that he moved into the house that Aunt Fee moved out of about 30 years ago.
Uh-huh.
There's a reason that I ensure absolute loyalty among my underlings.
Is that the category I'm in?
No, dear, your family.
Right.
I'm an underling.
Oh, uh-huh. Wait, I don't get it.
She's trying to suggest if you can get a spy in his house, that's
Oh.
pro move.
Okay. They're easily persuaded.
For a short time, yes.
Uh-huh. But somebody else?
If you're playing chess, you always want to be as many moves ahead of your opponent as you can be.
You better make your move.
Okay.
My dear, there are times when an ally for 5 minutes is all you need. But an ally cultivated with true loyalty, they're worth their weight in gold.
Who is she referring to? Nobody that we know yet?
She's not referring to anyone.
This seems like wisdom.
In general, he sort of keeps thralls and she actually
Yeah.
builds relationships.
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, got it. I'm guessing he isn't as persuasive as you and I can be.
His view on mortals, on others, is different than ours. For him, there is Feddy, and then there's food. For us, well, we can take someone's strength and make it our own, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
And she looks out the window to this perfectly manicured garden that it takes a few hands to manage, right? And you know that none of those gardeners are compelled in the way that Feddy compels his gardeners.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, right, the perfectly cleaned, dusted room that she keeps, the perfect order that she maintains.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that she does it by building up relationships with people,
Mm-hmm.
building loyalty with people,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes
And sometimes generational wealth.
paying someone well enough that
Yeah.
they can't be bought off.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very good distinction.
Instead of someone coming back because they need to, someone coming back because they choose to.
Yeah. Thank you, Mother. I think I've got a better grasp on what I can come to you with and should come to you with, and what should be left alone.
She just nods at you, and you get this sense of, boy, is family complicated.
Yeah. I'm thinking, like, there's no use in trying to poke at Fee at this point. There's not going to be a way that I could get into her study. There's not any way that I could. And at this point, she's not acting against me, so I don't think I should upset. I don't think that's helpful anymore. Like, I thought maybe that was a thread, but maybe that's down the line too.
It's one that through your mother, she's made it very clear the door is closed.
And then I think Mara will just say, thank you. I'll be gone, but I'll be in touch if you need to reach me at all. But I don't think we'll be gone too long.
Enjoy your girls' trip, dearest.
And then I think she's like heading out the door, and she'll just kind of over her shoulder go, do you know anyone named Blue Jay?
You see some recognition on her face. Why do you ask?
Family's complicated.
You see her doing some mental math. We're acquainted.
I think that's all I needed to know.
If you're dealing with him, be warned, he's a tricky one.
Okay. I don't think she's talked too much at length, but she's like, I'm really fond of his niece. Well, one of them. And I think I just wanted to know all the pieces on the board.
I'll do some digging.
Like gently though, right?
Naturally.
Okay, thank you, Mother. And she'll slip out. That's enough that she can take. Asteroid City, the land of opportunity.
Asteroid City.
Are we taking a plane or a train?
It's okay.
No, if you want to do a train, let's do. Okay, let's
No,
rock,
it's
paper,
okay.
scissors.
I've never flown in a plane before.
Aubrey or Camilla?
Aubrey.
Okay, I was like, whoa. I'm in character.
For those listening, the look on Lauren's face when asking that question was priceless.
I lived in New York.
You can drive to New York.
You could.
I've driven to New York many times.
Oh, have you been on a
From
plane?
where?
Yes.
Well, Aubrey, if you are uncomfortable with flying, then we can take a train. I just didn't want to add more time since
No,
it's urgent.
I think going quickly makes sense.
Okay, tickets are on me. We got it.
You sure?
Yeah. Of course. We'll drive to Taxi, the airport. Oh, that's dumb.
For those who don't live in Seattle, SeaTac is the
Is
name
the
of our
airport-
airport. Halfway between Seattle and Tacoma.
Taxi's funny.
Taxi's funny.
Taxi airport.
Yeah.
Taxi
Because there's a
airport.
taxi there too. Anyways. We'll drive down Taxi.
TAX.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense for Foxglove, but it's fine.
but, you know. I mean, we could take a train to the airport if you want to.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'll get
It's
us-
okay.
And you know what? There's a special row that has only 2 seats in it that I'll get for us, so you can be extra comfortable.
Okay.
It's called front class. Just trust me.
Okay.
Well, now we are obligated to do a song where Aubrey is surprised by the
By first
things
class.
that happen.
In first
Yeah.
class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've never been in an airplane before, but I have flown before plenty.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this will be not a new experience, but a new environment.
Yeah, well, because part of my royal garb was the mantle of the sulfur moth,
Mm-hmm.
which lets you glide and flutter. So I'm expecting, I guess, a lot of a sort of swooping feeling in my stomach at all times, and a kind of feeling of uncontrolled weightlessness being buffeted by wind.
I think this is more like you're just kind of sitting in a nice chair and maybe it's bumpy sometimes and they give you a warm cloth that smells like lemon for your hands.
Am I going to be disappointed by flight?
Maybe.
You ask as the two of you walk through magnetometers and
Yep, we're on insecurity right now.
yeah, just
It's
straight
so
through
easy.
to your gates. They're flying front class. Of course, there's
It's first class.
someone is serving you cocktails in the lounge as you wait.
Oh, yeah.
And you're ushered onto the airplane first. You sit down in luxurious leather seats. You're handed a warm, wet towel to clean your hands and face with. And then, let's get a song rolling. Surprising things happen.
First class!
The stewardess knows you by name. Last name, that is Vertere. They've got a warm little cup of nuts for you to eat. And you can comfortably and socially acceptably recline your seat in first class.
First class.
You don't have to ask.
First class.
First class.
First class. First class. First class.
We'll get you there comfortably and fast.
Is this what it's always like to take a plane? A little like a slightly less bumpy, cloudy train.
Yeah.
There's nothing below me, but it looks so far away.
Mm-hmm.
It's really small, but strange and not that. I just gotta say, first class.
First class.
First class.
We got everything you
First
don't
class.
have
First
to
class.
ask in first class.
First class.
We'll get you there comfortably and
Ladies, I noticed your drinks are empty.
Oh, yeah.
Let me fill those up for you.
Thanks.
I've got a nice bottle of bubbly here.
Ooh.
Let me just top off you two.
First class.
First class, first class, first class.
They're giving us everything and you don't have to ask. First class.
First class, first class, first class.
They'll get us there comfortably and fast. Drink up your Prosecco, girl.
Just gotta say, it's got a different ring. From clenching your cloak and so your arms become a moth's sulfur wing.
Right.
A little different from gliding through the mountain air.
Uh-huh.
A different kind of attention you don't have to care in first class.
First class, first class, first class.
You don't even have to ask.
First class, first class, first class.
First class.
First class, first class, first class.
They'll get us there comfortably
And fast.
Do you like it?
7 out of 10.
I'll take it.
As you're flying south and east from Washington State towards near the Four Corners area, so this would be southeast Utah, there's a change in landscape. You fly over the Rocky Mountains, and the land below you goes from green near Foxglove to gray and white in these mountains, where even in the early spring, they are capped with snow. You fly on, and the land below you turns red, and you can see deep channels carved through it. Asteroid City is on a geographical feature called the Colorado Plateau that extends into all 4 states in the Four Corners. Imagine putting a compass at the point of the Four Corners and extending it all the way west across the state of Arizona and drawing a circle. It's almost that big.
Okay.
Right? This is a massive, massive structure. The Grand Canyon is there. It's this sort of area of red rocks, of carved out channels, of hoodoos and mesas and plateaus. It is massive high desert. It's red. It feels completely different from Foxglove. And the sun is just setting as you are coming in for a landing in the Asteroid City airport. You can see the lights of the city, which seem to be set up in sort of concentric rings as the city has built up and up over the generations since the asteroid struck there, and there was first a gold rush.
Don't clap when the plane lands.
Was I supposed
There's some clapping from the back of the plane.
No. They haven't flown before, but you have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never clapped when I've landed before.
Exactly. So I wouldn't. The same rules apply here.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Yep. Well, let's get our bags. And has Greystone... We're meeting him at the ice cream parlor?
Yeah, he gave us the address.
Okay.
Have you been here before? I've
No,
always
I've not
wanted to go.
been to Asteroid City before. I don't think Mara's left Washington State. I think maybe there was a trip that her mother was going to take her to Greece that got canceled for some reason. But
I've never left the state either.
yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean,
oh, yeah.
barring exceptions.
Right. Well, this is fun. Okay. Well, we can pick out a car to rent, right? It's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go. We're like walking through.
I just go to the first car. I'm like, this one?
No.
Pointing at a hatchback, ultra compact.
I move my hand along to the next one. That one?
Mara walks over to like the luxury ones. She's like, what about like, it's like she points to a Mustang. Maybe like this? That could be kind of cool. Or like, I think we settle on a nice SUV.
Smash cut to driving in it with the windows down.
Yeah! This is the girls' trip moment.
Mara's got like a driving scarf.
Oh, yes! Gorgeous. And some shades. Well, it's night, so maybe not that. Unless it's the perfect, like, you know, when the sun is setting and it's right in your eyes as you're driving. Then she's got some cute.
Question on the sunset Helix. Is the city set within the crater? So is the sun setting over a horizon that is above the residence, or?
There is a neighborhood in the crater.
Okay.
Yeah, but the city has like since spread out beyond that.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's over the mountains to the west.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Well, I think we should head straight there. They gave us a great meal.
Late night ice cream.
Yeah. Every girls' trip needs a late night ice cream stop. So we'll park out front.
Yeah.
Leaving our bags in the back.
Is there a name for the shop?
I did not name it.
Welcome to the Minty Scoop. What can I get for you?
There's so many kinds of mint here.
Yes.
There are.
I'm seeing...
We don't need to do a song about the different kinds of mint.
I know kinds of mint.
I also know kinds of mint.
I know at least two.
Yeah. We don't have to do that.
Apple mint,
green,
orange mint,
Moroccan mint.
Moroccan mint,
menthol,
cat mint,
Buttermint.
containment,
Disappointment.
resentment.
Yeah.
There's just this like pimple-faced teenage boy who's standing behind the counter, kind of slouch posture, wearing a white apron and a candy-striped shirt, little paper hat set off at a slight angle.
Ooh.
Well, since we're here, I feel like I do have to try a kid's scoop of the experiment.
It's a mystery every time.
Oh boy. But I have been told that we can't pass through without asking about the wintergreen.
Yeah, I'd like to try the wintergreen.
Oh,
The kid scoops you a swirled-looking ice cream, puts it into a sugar cone, hands it across.
Experiment.
and says, I'm just gonna take my break now.
Lifts up the passageway through behind the counter, like kind of hip checks the counter as he walks past it, and you see a door behind it pop open as he goes outside to take his break.
Is there a die I can roll to see how good this ice cream is for the experiment?
That's so correct.
Yeah, just roll you know what? Just roll one yellow.
Are you trying the experiment without a control?
Yeah. 2 advantages.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
The experiment.
They put Pop Rocks in it, and you weren't expecting that. And so when they started sort of going off
So
in
it's
your
sort
mouth,
of fun at first, but then the novelty wears off.
way before
and-
you're done with even the kid scoop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad I tried it. Otherwise, I would have lived my entire life without knowing.
In question and fear. Yeah.
So do we want to go through this trap door?
Yeah. Why not? Well, we'll go ahead and open it.
Jeffrey, describe the space that they walk into.
Okay, so what you walk into is an elevator that takes you up. As soon as the door closes, it's dark for like a quarter of a second, and lit up around the floor, light blue vertical jets of light, white overhead light, and you are in an elevator that makes like this low whirring sound. And you travel upstairs. But it's like a lot of production to go one flight of stairs up. And like the door slides open, and you find yourself in what was probably could have passed as a dentist's office, but it's redecorated. So like light blues and whites and grays, what looks like a comfortable area to sit and relax. There is a coffee and refreshment station right there. There's not like a lot of people there. There's like, and it doesn't look like there's ever supposed to be a lot of people there. Like you're in an open waiting room that will never be filled. Beyond this room, there is an office. The door is open, and you can see like big glass wall.
But there are other people in the waiting room.
Nope.
Oh, no. Okay.
Nope,
It's entirely empty. Okay.
It's empty. Okay. Well, then I think we'll take a quick glance.
Is there a place where I can take a number?
Where you can take a number.
Yeah, to get in line.
You hear. Well, I'm glad you like the lobby. You can come in.
And we'll walk on in?
Is there a number? Do I need to find a number?
Aubrey, I think it's just us.
If you want to go through that number, sure, pick a number.
Mara sighs and walks into the office.
I grab a number and follow her in.
Aubrey, as you walk in, Greystone looks up at you very playfully and says, "Did I call your number, ma'am?"
Well, I was under the understanding that the next time we met, it would be as friends. And so, hopefully you can forgive the terrible transgression. But, as consolation, 44.
Now seeing 44.
Oh my God. Hi, Greystone. How are you?
Okay. Be honest with me. How was that?
What?
When you serve the kind of clientele that I do,
Yeah.
they expect some level of showmanship. They
Right.
expect, like, I can't just say, come and see Greystone with my
Right.
name on a door that
Yeah.
anyone could reach. They have to feel like some degree of secrecy.
No, it was very exciting
Okay.
and very cool. I'll say I think real portals tend to be less impressive.
Right.
You're not wrong.
For a brief moment in the elevator, I wasn't sure if we were really only going up one floor, but then we were.
Perfect.
And I was tickled and not disappointed.
That's good, because this is not a very tall building.
No, that's okay. I think maybe the only suggestion we have would be for the ice cream parlor downstairs about one of their flavors, but
I'm still finishing it. But I go to
Oh,
hug
you
Grace.
got the experiment.
You had to try it. I go to give
That's how
Greystone
they get you.
like a hug, but I'm holding the ice cream in one hand. So it's like I'm trying not to get ice cream on him while I hug him. Hello.
You can see Greystone has had this problem before. He pulls out like this little, it's like a box with 5 small round holes in the top in
For
a
all
row.
the different kinds of cone.
Yeah, for different cones that you can fit in. Oh, here, set it right here, Aubrey.
You've really thought of everything.
I work above an ice cream parlor.
well, hopefully it would smell nice. And Mara gives him like a friendly, like business, like handshake hug, you know? So it's like, it's personal, but it's still like the respect.
It is so good to see both of you, and I am very glad that I get to show you my place of business.
Right.
I apologize that you have to go through the whole regular rigmarole. I know that this is not a big deal to you, and you've got such a great cover with that chili pavili, but
No, I'd say this is a pretty big deal,
Yeah.
us being here.
Yeah.
We came pretty much as quickly as we got your call.
yes, and that only makes me assume that this case is even more serious than it sounded in the letter.
Yup. And it was pretty serious in the letter, so only
Very
more
serious.
from there.
Okay.
But you sold it.
Mhm.
So with the shroud, as soon as I mentioned it, you said it wasn't a conversation for over the phone. So
Correct.
So is it a conversation for now?
This office, as far as I know, is one of the most secure places on the continent.
Wow.
It's guarded by a 15-year-old and a code word.
There must be a lot of stuff that is invisible to the naked eye.
Helix, how much of Aubrey's sense of glamoury that she picked up on at the end of the last Greystone episode persists?
It was something that she noticed in part because there was such an overwhelming amount of it at the party. So she kind of clued back in.
It's like a familiar scent.
It had to push past a threshold or something.
Gotcha.
Then she was alert to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything that I'd clock here?
If the scent is strong, then you know there is what you have seen for the sideshow hokey attraction. And then there's a lot more going on.
Yeah, I
here.
figure that this is tip of an iceberg.
Most of my clients are humans who believe in magic, and they watch these things on television, they listen to the songs, and they just have this idea of what a guy who interacts with all of that should be like. So I have to mix together all of these different things. There's like a little bit of Wizard of Oz, and then there's a little bit of, I guess, Blade Runner, if that's in the 80s. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've just got to give the people what they expect so that they can talk to me about it. walking outside and someone says it's hot.
Oh, it's hot.
You have some expectations that will be brought.
Sweaty.
When you open your door and you look out and see,
I could go for some ice cream.
you want to see evidence that the temperature is at a high degree. You gotta give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see.
Show 'em what they want to see.
You gotta give the people what they want.
What they want.
Show them what they want to see.
Detective Greystone, I've noticed something weird. On the hill outside, strange lights at night appear. I think maybe it might be a UFO. I seek your services, 'cause you seem in the know.
This kind of thing happens to me every week, most on the hour.
On the hour.
Everyone thinks I will solve this with some kind of superpower. What they don't know is I dug and put a VW bug in the soil.
Bug in the soil.
They find it after every meteor shower,
Beep,
because
beep.
you gotta give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see. You gotta give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see.
Inspector Greystone, if it's not too much to ask, I'd like to bother you for a favor. You see, there's creatures in my home,
Creatures in my
keeping me up all hours of the night. I was hoping you could eradicate them.
Bye-bye.
People come to me asking for help driving out a gremlin infestation.
Ooh.
I've had them after midnight, I must admit.
You don't get repeat customers by telling them their downstairs neighbors rent out an Airbnb for vacation, but an internet-free Airbnb. Give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see.
Oh, you must.
You gotta give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see. Half of doing business is doing what you say. The other half of business is just making it look that way. Sometimes it takes skill, sometimes some devilry. Either way, you gotta give the people what they're paying you to see. So for everybody, give the people what they want. Give them what they want. Show them what they want to see. It's the only way you can invoice people thoroughly. Oh, give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see. Did you see my elevator? Did you see my cool lobby?
Give the people what they want.
Give them what they want.
Show them what they want to see.
Give them, give them.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Give the people what they want. Show them what they want to see.
Anyway, thanks for putting up with these shenanigans.
Of course.
I'll admit, I have a good time doing them.
I love it. That's the third part of business, right? Having fun?
Loving what you do?
Oh, I love your outlook. I love that. I laid out a half and half framework for business. And because I enjoy both sides of it so much, I forgot the third. which is loving business.
Well, as much as we love business, there's a darker side to why we're here, which was made somewhat clear in Aubrey's letter.
Yeah, I have a friend who's in imminent danger unless we get this shroud back. So, who did you sell it to, and are they nice, and do they still have it?
See, this is what makes this so fascinating to me.
Oh boy.
You asked me to fence a fragment of the Shroud of Turin,
Right?
which is a very, very hot commodity, and we got a lot of money out of that, and that's great. But being that you came to me, I assumed that you would want it done right.
Yes.
So, using a combination of glamoury, technology, and encryption, are you familiar with the concept of money laundering?
We were just at the laundromat.
Perfect. It's just like that. And now imagine you go to the laundromat and you see someone else's really nice pants. And you're like, well, I wish those pants were mine. And then you wait until their pants are in the washer and the washer is done. And so you sneak over and you open up the top of the washer and you pull out their pants and you put them in with your clothes, which you're taking out of the washer and you're putting into the dryer. Now you tumble, and then you take your clothes out of the dryer and they are your clothes. That is kind of what money laundering is, but for money. And we did that with the Shroud of Turin, which is way more complicated and far, far more secure. I have made the Shroud of Turin disappear in a way that would make it nigh impossible for people to torture its location out of me.
But you said there's a chance.
Yes! You are giving I normally this kind of job would break smaller countries. But for my friends who are giving me the chance, you don't understand. If we can find who we fenced this fragment of magic cloth to, we will bring down the entire black market for mystical artifacts and the exchange thereof. If we can get in, I will be able to find so many things. We will be able to find so many things. The ripple effect that this will have on the magical underworld cannot be underestimated. And we're gonna get away with it.
Yeah!
Right? No. What? Wait. Are you saying, okay, you don't remember because it was very secure that you it's not even in your own mind anymore, right?
Oh, it was never in my mind.
Oh,
it was never in my mind who I sold it to.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to see the device that I used?
But potentially, yes. I'm just this is the clear path. This is the only path.
Yes,
to get it back?
I think so.
Aren't there other fragments of the shroud? Does Freddy care which fragment we give back to him?
This is the only one that we have a lead on.
We could find. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. What device did you use?
Okay, so you're familiar with Glamoury, right?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
So, Glamoury essentially makes something appear in a way that is contrary to its nature. If you do that enough, then you can disguise an object to identify as something else. Therefore it does not show up on the books. You can do many transactions. And so basically what it means is that the Shroud of Turin never existed here. I sold something else to another guy.
Okay. What
did you sell and to whom?
I don't know. That's what's great. It shows up on this ledger. So it looks like, oh, yes, it's something very valuable. Keep this in mind, but be careful when dealing with the IRS. I run a services-based business. So it just shows up as an invoice that I wrote to a client for investigative services.
Right.
So I've just got as far as anyone can see, I've just got a really, really big job. And if anyone asks me about it, I can say I was doing that job for that client. But the client doesn't exist.
Okay.
What do we do then?
Perfect question. The perfect question to ask. Well, there are a couple different ways. We could figure out where a similar transaction to my end of this transaction appeared in the world.
To find a matching record.
Yes, a matching record somewhere. That would be a good place to start.
But of course, you would need access to every business entity's books to do that.
Yes. And doing that, we could make some calls, but if we can get a comprehensive look at all business data transaction, both official and unofficial in the known universe, because this does, as far as I know, I don't need to hedge with you folks. It handles transactions between this world and others as well.
Uh-huh.
So we could try to hack the entire universe. That's one option.
I think Aubrey's just thinking about how the fact that like an incredible quest might come down to paperwork.
Yes.
Is like the perfect explanation of her kind of life. Incredible magic quest that's paperwork also. Oh.
In my prime, done a lot of quests, and at my zenith I would say I was the best. And then was a time I put it all in a box to focus on my taxes and affording socks. And somehow now those two halves of the life I've lived come into focus to make a whole. Arrives where being a normal, boring human could achieve a magic goal. It's a paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest.
A paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest.
Boringer than all the rest. Embarking on a paperwork quest. It's a paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest.
It's a paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest.
Boringer than all the rest. Embarking on a paperwork quest.
Tonight at midnight we ride to put the debits and the credits on their respective side. Yes, tonight the fame and the glory will be mine, because when it comes to this quest, the bottom line is the bottom line. It's a
Paperwork quest.
paperwork quest.
It's a paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest.
Boringer than all the rest. Embarking on a paperwork quest. It's a paperwork quest.
Paperwork quest. It's
A paperwork quest.
paperwork
Boringer than all the rest. Embarking on a paperwork quest.
Don't get a paper cut.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. Are there other options too? Or is that the one?
There are always other options.
Okay.
We can figure out where the shroud went. We could also figure out where the shroud would go.
Journey versus destination.
Yes.
And we're here in Asteroid City, not just because we had to have this conversation in person, but because we could... Well, realistically, are we doing more traveling? Or are we...
Again, I don't know physically where it is, but I never had to leave my address in order to get rid of it. I don't think, I doubt that we're going to be going, I hope you didn't rent a car or anything.
Well, we did, but it's cute.
Oh, good. Wait a minute.
This is some showmanship.
The Shroud of Turin. Why?
Wow, there's like numbers flying in front of his face.
What kind of person would, and what kind of entity could?
Wow, they're going so fast. It's like a mind
If
palace.
If they did, then that would mean, why, that
It's like
would
code.
We might just be tracking some kind of monster.
Oh, no.
Think about where we got the shroud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my estimation, Feddy von Sweeten is not a nice guy.
No, we hate him.
We hate him.
I agree.
Yeah. You hate him too?
Hate is a strong word and an emotion that I reserve for a very select few.
I think us too, and we hate him.
We hate him.
Okay, great. Well, I have no problems with this. He's a bad dude. I don't like him. I don't like what he did to Caitlin and Megan. I don't like what he did to your landscaping friend. I don't like the guy. And not a big fan of what he did with the house.
Yeah, honestly, there's so much. Anyway, I've been really into decorating recently.
So many more fabulous ways to have done that. Anyway.
Yeah, Mara, you should be taking notes from here.
We got the shroud from a monster. The only other kind of person who would try to buy something that rightfully belongs to the poor and destitute, those whom the shroud was originally used to heal, so I read, would be another monster. And if you want to find a monster, you need a monster hunter. And I might know just the folks. Are you familiar with the Koma Inu?
No.
They are a sensationally adept, small strike force of monster hunters. They find evil in the deepest cracks of the worlds, and they pluck it out with a sense of holy righteousness that could only rival, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. That seems like quite a judgment call for me to make.
Okay, sounds like a lot. Before we maybe jump on that train, can I ask for a working definition of monster?
A working definition of monster?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, definitions can be kind of difficult because the mind immediately races to edge cases. For example, if you were to look up the word furniture in the dictionary, you would find that things like a pencil or an eraser would technically qualify as furniture, but nobody uses the word furniture to describe pencils and erasers and cups.
Yeah, is it like, is a monster like who someone is or what they do?
I think it has far more to do with what they do.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at someone like, say, Mussolini and says, he's a monster. Look how he looks.
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
Well, but what if it was like, oh, look at him and the type of being he is.
Exactly.
And that, oh.
Yes, he does such evil things.
Right.
And he had such a sinister influence on the world around him because of the choices he made. Yes.
Okay. Mara looks sick. Aubrey.
You look sick. Mara, why do you ask?
Why do I ask? That's a good question. Greystone, one that I'm not sure. Remember how you said some stories are best told over time?
Yes.
I think this is one of those things.
Mara, you know that I've read a lot of material on Train 19 since I got that folder, right?
Okay.
It's okay. I'm
This is over.
I just
He's also using a magical glamour to disguise his identity, so we can
but the
figure
cool thing
that
is like he knows mine, I don't know his.
You don't have to tell me. I'm not going to force it out of
No,
you. But
if you're already aware, Greystone, I'm gonna be real upfront with you. I don't know if I can go to these people because what if I'm the one that they try and...
You will have my full protection if they pull a stunt like that. But as long as you behave in a way that is altruistic, like, just be cool.
I'm... Just
be cool.
Visibly insulted. Okay.
As long as you don't do any, like, commit an atrocious social sin or actual sin.
Greystone, I would never.
I have never seen you do that. No.
No, but okay, I'm aware. You saw what I did at the party. Okay,
Yeah.
I love that we're all on the same page.
Mara, there is no way that I would suggest that we work with this group of people if I thought that it would put you, someone who came to me for help, directly in a dangerous position that you didn't have the chance to opt into.
Okay.
Smash cut to the three of you standing underneath a natural stone arch, half an hour's drive outside of the city in the desert, under the stars,
God,
waiting,
that's lovely.
waiting for Koma Inu to arrive. And as you wait, you can see the occasional shooting star streaking across the sky. And you hear a rumbling coming from the distance and growing louder and louder and louder. This deep, guttural rumble.
An ominous rumble rattles our rhapsodic Sherlocks. Find out if this portends new allies or formative foes. Next time on RPG Major.
Mara Vertere is Lauren Drake. Find her on socials at La Drake and performing around Seattle with We Have Some Notes. Aubrey Stump is Camilla Franklin. Find her on Instagram at Camillastrator. Camilla also does all the art and visual design for our show. Inspector Greystone is Jeffrey Kranz. Find him on Instagram at Jeffrey_the_red. All music for this arc of RPG Major was created live in the room by our incredible accompanist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm Helix. Connect with me and the cast of the show on our Discord or at RPG Major on Instagram and Blue Sky. If you're listening to these as they come out and you're in the Seattle area, you might want to know that Jeffrey, Drew, and Phil, the actors behind Greystone, Tavo, and Fabio, are all performing together in Hex and the City, running at CSZ Seattle, weekends in late May. CSZSeattle.com.
In a plane.
And on a plane. City Museum, St. Louis, they have on top of their roof an old jet aircraft that is part of a climbing and playing structure for slightly inebriated adults to climb in and through and on. This is true. If you ever go to St. Louis, City Museum is rad.
The City Museum is on my list of places to see before death.
Yeah. Imagine a 4-story tall warehouse space that was given over to artists with welding tools. And they decided to make a play space for children and adults out of it.
That's cool.
It is
That rocks.
genuinely very, very cool place.
Yeah.
There's like a 4-story grain slide that you can slide down. There's caves for you to clamber through. There's like a skate park that people just run around on with their feet.
Awesome.
There's an enormous mantis just scaling the roof. So I didn't know about the museum until I saw the silhouette of the mantis. I was there visiting a client and I'm like, what is that? And took myself on a tiny little Google Maps discovery tour and then read the story. Oh my word. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, Aubrey.
His name is Franklin Drake.
God, it sounds like a nasty fellow.
Whoa, what just happened?
Be a good lawyer name.
It would. Doesn't sound like we've got much of an option.
Well, we can always hack the entire universe's internet. Wait, there's no...
Greystone, you know so much about the future, Greystone.
There's one rule about the world building here, and I have violated it 3 times in this recording session. Okay. Well, we could... I think this is the most sensible way.